I am in the process of applying. I know, I saw that, and it's such a shame. Anyway, I hope that this is everyone can see. I don't know, I hope that the lighting is okay. Seems a little dark. Chantel, thank you. Thanks for being so supportive. I really appreciate it. Okay, maybe that's a bit better. Chantel, are you on? The lighting is so different on YouTube. Yeah, it's a little dark, right? Is that better? Okay, great. All right, so where were we? We were at Nude Model. I'm going in with this sort of peachy brown shade, and I'm just going to come in and work that through my crease. And I'm using, again, a fluffy brush. This is a 224 brush. And this is where I'm starting. I started right in the center of my eye. I'm moving the color back and forth, like so. And just creating a really natural shadow. And remember, again, if you have hooded eyes, you want to do this with your eye open and put the color a little higher. And you want to use a brush more like a 217 because it gives you a little bit more control because the flower tip is a little bit smaller. Okay, hi everyone, hi everyone, hi, hi, hi. Also want to let you know if you want to pull the comments down, you can just put your hand on the screen and push the comments down. Boop. Boop. All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, we're going to take another stab at this, and we're going to use this darker, rosier tone here. Now, I love to use a fluffy brush, and sometimes it's really, you get a much softer sort of look when you use a when you use a fluffier brush, you get a softer look. When you use a tighter brush, like this is the 221, if you really want to get in and get like a super detail, this is a good brush to use for that. But I find that using a fluffy brush gives you a softer, more kind of romantic, less, I don't know how to say it. When you reach a certain age, when you do things that are very graphic and hard around the eye, it looks hard. And so we want to move away from that and do things that are a little bit softer and a little bit, hi everybody, thanks for joining, that are a little bit more like a wash. So I'm just going to come into the outer part of my eye and add a little. Okay. Oh, these. Hi, thanks for joining. I'm sorry, I'm having some connectivity issues today. All right, so Sugar Plum eyeshadow, thanks Chantel. I'm just using that kind of in the outer corner, and I'm pulling it out slightly, and you can just see it's just a beautiful soft wash. And that's what we want. I want to keep this really natural. I tend to wear a lot of color. I tend to try to go for like a little bit weird or left of center, but today I really want to focus on just basic beauty. So what I'm going to do is go back in with that Sugar Plum color, and now I'm going to use the 219 brush. And again, when we choose our tools, we want to choose tools that fit the space of the eye that we're working on, and I want this to be smudgy and soft and not super tight and hard. So I'm using this brush because, again, the tip is a little bit more like a pencil. And I'm going to come under my eye, and I'm just going to very gently blend. And I don't know if this person is on. There was someone who was asking me about fallout in the YouTube video. And the real deal with fallout is tapping your brush and making sure you get the excess product out. And then sometimes it's about pressing. And so when you're working under your eye, you want to press that shadow. So this side got a little lower than this side. I think this one looks a bit more natural. So what I'm going to do, there's no need to worry. You just want to take a cleaner brush and just kind of softly blend out those edges. And that's going to give you a little bit of a cleaner, softer look. And using a softer brush after you finish applying that's clean, so you use one to apply and one to blend, that keeps you from adding more and more product. What that really does is it helps you to just move the product that's already there and not worry about having too much product to work with. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here, especially after my YouTube live just crashed. But I do want you to notice something. So I use the Sugar Plum here on the top of my eye with a soft brush with the 224 brush, which looks like this. Okay, and under my eye, I applied it with the 219 brush, which looks like this. And so what's interesting is that you get two very different looks depending on the brush that you use. And that's the other beauty of having different kinds of tools. I know a lot of people are always like, why do I need so many brushes? You don't need so many brushes. You need the right brushes. You don't need all the tools. You need the right tools. And so, hi everyone. I'm just going to clean my phone a little bit. Maybe that will help with the lighting slightly. There we go. All right. Is that okay? Can you see? All right. I'm also going to take this off. Let's brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So that's the biggest thing I want you to understand about brush mechanics is that we're not writing cursive on our eye, right? We want things to be loose, so we're going to use our wrist a lot more than we're going to use our hand. And we also need to make sure that we understand what we're trying to accomplish. So if we want to go into a tight area, we want to use a small brush. If we want to get a sheer application, we use a soft brush. We want an intense application, we use a stiff brush, and we press and we stipple. And if we want to move product without adding any more product, we use a clean brush to just blend that away. And that's how that works. So I'm going to stop there for a second. I'm going to start to add some mascara because mascara will really change how this makeup looks. So I'm going to come in with my lash curler and give my lashes a quick squeeze. I think it's really important if you're trying to do something that's flirty and really beauty-based to back high. To keep those lashes curled up. It's sort of like a little boob job for your eye. It really helps to open the eye up and make it look flirty and pretty and feminine. And so I'm going to go in now. And again, we talked about hooded eyes earlier. Waterproof mascara, really important. The challenge with waterproof mascara is removing it properly. So the beauty of this product specifically is that it's warm water washable, but also waterproof. And so that makes it really, really foolproof when you need something fast and easy. And that's going to wear. I wear glasses and this product really stays on my eye very well. I'm just going to come in and coat my bottom lashes first because you know when you do your bottom lashes you look up, and if I do my top lashes first and then I look up to do my bottom lashes, I'm going to have little tiny black dots everywhere. So as you can see, it's a huge difference between my two eyes. I hope you can see that. Is this causing a shadow? Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. I was set up for my YouTube live, which just crashed. So I apologize. I always have a problem with waterproof mascara smudging on my lower lash line throughout the day. Any tips to avoid this from happening? So yes, good question. Waterproof mascara smudges on you? Are you sure it's waterproof? That is crazy. Waterproof mascara tends to take a little bit longer time to dry. So, we put mascara on and we just keep putting coat after coat after coat after coat after coat on. Sometimes you need to do a light coat and let it dry completely. And then put your other coat on top, because what will happen is the outside coat will dry, but the inside coats will not. And through the day, they will start to drip down. So I find it's very important to put your bottom mascara on first, then put your top mascara on. If it continues to happen, you can skip the bottom mascara. I just find that it's not a necessary thing to skip if you're using the right one for your lashes. So I'm noticing as I'm getting a little closer, I did get some fallout, and someone asked earlier about fallout. I'm using my dirty foundation brush. This is the brush I use to apply my foundation. It still has my makeup in it. So I'm coming under my eye and just cleaning that up a little bit. And it also helps to draw the shape out. You can do a lot of really fun tricks with this. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Okay, so I feel like my eye looks pretty natural. I wouldn't be me if I did not add a little bit of highlight. And again, we go back to talking about a hooded eye. Having a little bit of lightness in the inner corner of the eye helps to balance out the eye. So I'm going to go in with this color right here in the top corner, this sort of white, off-white beige shade. If you're a darker skin tone, you could just move one right over to this sort of champagne color. But because I tend to be fairer, I'm going to go in here. And I'm just going to tap in a little tiny bit of that highlight in the inner corner of my eye. And again, when you have a hooded eye, you want to just add a little bit of that highlight through here just to help open up the eye a bit. And you can see that really gives you an extra little kick and an extra little lift. You don't have to do this, but for me, I find that it helps to rebalance my eye shape a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to quickly fill in my eyebrows. I'm just going to use a toothbrush to sort of brush them up. And again, I'm going to use a color right out of this palette. So I'm going to come in and use this color here in the bottom. This is a 266 brush. And what's beautiful about this brush is it draws a straight line for you. Boop. So you can do liner with it with powder, or you can do your brows. I don't fill in my brows too much because I wear such big glasses, but I'm just going to come in and draw a line, sketchy line here in the bottom part of my brow. And then I'm going to use whatever's left in the brush, and I'm going to work it upward, just to kind of stain the skin sort of behind my eyebrow. I have a lot of gray hair in my eyebrow, so I'm going to come in and just kind of give myself a little more definition. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eyebrow, coming in the bottom. And is this color right here. Okay, technology is great until it isn't, right? Oh my. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and do the same technique. I drew a line with the 266 brush, and you'll notice again, using my wrist, I'm not writing cursive, I'm not choking up on my brush. It's like batting. You know, you want to pull back a little bit, don't choke too much up on the brush. And then I'm using the brush really to move the color into my brow hair. And this brush gives you a lot of intensity of color. So you can really, even though this color looks super light, when you put it in my brow, it really gives it a full effect. So I hope that you can see the difference, or you saw the difference. So I'm going to use my toothbrush again. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to brush that color through my eyebrow to make sure it's evenly blended and evenly distributed. All right, and we're almost done. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of blush. So I love the Beauty Blender for our Glow Play blushes. This is one of my favorite products. And I'm going to just moisten, I don't know if I love that word, dampen, I don't know, make this wet. I'm not sure what the right phrasing is, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Beauty Blender, a little bit of Fix Plus on it. I find that with the Glow Play texture, because I'm going to show you, it's kind of spongy. When you put your finger in it, it kind of bounces back. And it's a very sheer, almost like a stained glass effect on the face. So this is Cheer Up Blush. And I'm just going to go in. I'm going to use the round part of the Beauty Blender, which is sort of like an egg shape. And I'm going to come in, or teardrop shape. And I'm just going to use that fat round part. And I'm going to tap it onto the high part of my face just to give myself a little color. And again, as we're moving into this new normal with sort of masks and things like that, blush is still okay to do. You know, I got a really intense application here. So again, I'm going to go back with my foundation brush and I'm just going to kind of tap out the edges. Just use my foundation brush to kind of melt that into the skin. And again, this is that multi-purpose moment, you know, where you use your brush that's a little bit dirty. Now, it's not dirty from somebody else. It's got to be your brush. But to just kind of soften those edges out a little bit and melt it into the skin. And if you are someone who can't wash their brushes every day, or you don't have that kind of time, you can use a terry cloth towel with MAC brush cleanser and use it in between, or you can even just dry brush the product out of the bristle and it will work great. So I don't want to do that too much because I want to keep some foundation in there. The other thing I'm going to do again is just bounce a little bit of this color right onto my brow bone. It's sort of a little 70s trick to do that. You can also do a little bit on your forehead if you want, just to kind of lift the color. It kind of lifts the face up a little bit. It's really quite beautiful, and a way to bring that blush into the rest of your face. It just brings it together. Okay, so last couple steps here. I'm going to go in with some Prep and Prime Lip, and I'm going to add that to my lips. Weird. and let that sit for a second. Now, I'm not gonna, we already put strobe cream on my face. I feel like it's still pretty glowy. If you're somebody who wants a little bit more glow, you can come in with just a little bit of the strobe cream, just a small amount, like a pea-size amount. And I'm gonna rub it into my ring fingers here, my ring and middle fingers, and I'm just gonna tap that into my face, right on top of my foundation. Just to give myself a little bit more radiance. And again, because I started this makeup, I know most of you were probably on YouTube or maybe not on YouTube, but I used the Pro Longwear Nourishing Foundation. So it has a natural matte finish. So I just want to come in and just tap. Oh boy. All right, hi guys. You know, I do use powder. I love Studio Fix. I love Studio Fix Loose a lot. And I also love the Prep and Prime Transparent Powder. One of the things as I've gotten older and my skin is not oily is it's hard for me to wear a lot of powder throughout the day and make it look natural. So I tend to use foundations that actually are self-setting. I'm going to use right now, just to jump, I'll come back to you, R Green. But I'm going to just use a little bit of Plum lip liner right now to kind of line and shape my lips. Now, if you are someone who has to wear a mask every day, sometimes lips can be tough. I would probably recommend using a Retro Matte Liquid Lipstick. And I'm actually going to talk about that next week. I'm going to do a presentation on summer pinks, and we're going to talk about the Retro Matte Metallics. But I'm right now just using some Plum lip liner. If you're just at home or you're on a Zoom call or whatever you're doing, you can actually just stain your lips with a lip pencil. It's a really beautiful way to get a natural look. It feels, very easy to wear. And it's a great way to sort of build dimension and build the shape of your lip. And also too, if you guys are watching, well, you're obviously watching, I do have a promotion right now on MACcosmetics.com, which is Carry Lip, and you get a free Spice It Up lipstick if you spend $50 or more. So I'm actually going to use a little tiny bit of one of our Love Me lipsticks. This is called Killing Me Softly, which is kind of what's happening today with YouTube and Instagram. Ugh. So I'm going to come in and just use a little Love Me lipstick. I love these lipsticks. They have a gel-based formula that give it a really true kind of color payoff. This is a very beautiful plum that looks great on everyone. If you're a darker skin tone, try it with Chestnut or Night Moth. Even Cyber World. I think we still make Cyber World. I don't know. I'm using it with Plum. You could also use it with Spice or Soar. Just want to round out my edges a little bit. They got a little bumpy. So I'm going to use a Q-tip and just soften my Cupid's bow slightly. Okay, so last but not least, I'm just going to highlight under my eyes slightly. I'm going to use one of our Prep and Prime highlighter pens. I'm just going to come in here. This is Radiant Rose. Comes in a lot of different shades. And I am going to use, actually, so we talked about the 170 brush earlier, which is this one. It has a kid sister, and it is the 270. So the 170 and the 270, this is its little baby brush, little baby sister. And I'm going to use this. It's really great for concealer and for more smaller, more delicate areas on the face. And I'm just using it almost like a fingertip. And as you can see, I'm sort of bouncing it. We call that stippling. And I'm just stippling that product on. I don't want to rub it all away. I don't want to disturb what's happening under my eye because the foundation gave me enough coverage. But what I need to do now is just to brighten a little bit. So you'll notice that it just gives me a little wake up under the eye, which again, I always need that. But I think in these times of weird sleep patterns and everything else, I find myself needing it a little bit more. And yeah. I think that's it. I'm not going to worry about a highlight under my eye. This is just a really easy, quick makeup using this using this palette. I did my brows, I did my lid, I did my crease. I added a little bit of Teddy Eye Kohl to start off on top of 24 Hour Eye Base. We used a little bit of Nude Model. We used some Atetta Tint. We used some Sugar Plum, some Shroom on my eye. And then we went in with some Extended Play Mascara. I used my contour palette to shape my face, and then we used some Cheer Up blush just to add some color to the face, and then finished it off with a little plum liner and Killing Me Softly lipstick. So that's it. I think the biggest thing for those of you who missed the earlier part, there is another video on YouTube, which is the beginning of this makeup, and I mixed Prep and Prime Radiance and a little bit of strobe cream as sort of my magical mix to start my face. And yeah, hey, I did turn it up. Thanks. All right. You guys, thank you so much. I'm really sorry for those of you who migrated over. I appreciate you very much. And for those of you who are new and jumped in the middle of this, thanks for being here. We will be continuing to do these virtual learnings. You will get a survey. You want to let us know how you liked it. And I apologize again for the technical difficulties. That was out of my control. But thank you for hanging in there with us. And I will post the products in my stories so you can look at them after we're done with this. And this will sit in my stories for 24 hours. So I apologize again that some of this beginning parts of the makeup were on YouTube. But thanks again for being here. And I really appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I didn't mean to forget your question about powder. I do use powder, and I do love powder, and I respect it a lot. I just was trying to keep it a little bit fresher today. So thank you guys so much. Thank you all. I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot. And I hope you all are staying safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.